Namaste, angels. Sorry I'm late. This is the weekly love reading. We're going to get right into it, beginning with the Page of Wands in reverse from the Rider-Waite Tarot. This could be in your life a Leo, Aries, or Sagittarius, or someone like into those traits or attributes, possibly younger than you. And this card is also about, well, if you're single and trying to meet somebody, or you have recently met somebody, there could be people around you. I don't know if it's going to be friends or family members or something that try to like warn you against this person, or talk you out of it. Could be based on some sort of gossip or something. Make sure you decide for yourself. You figure out like if they're appropriate or not. And in general, this card is about like getting to know each other better. So even if you are in a committed relationship, like, getting to know each other on a deeper level, or if you've just met and things are working out, getting to know each other on a deeper level and not like, trying to rush to the end. This is really building a connection. Next card is the Knight of Cups upright. So that connection may be with a Cancer, Scorpio, or Pisces, or someone like into those traits or attributes. Could very well be with an ex, the way that I read the Knight of Cups, somebody returning to your life, or somebody that was, in your life somehow, like a close friend or something, they're returning to your life, and maybe it'll turn romantic this time. Also, the Knight of Cups says very good things about the Page of Wands that's here. So again, if you just met somebody, even if people are in your ear telling you the person is not right for you or whatever's the problem, this is probably going to be saying differently. This is a very romantic card. It is about, commitments, deepening of commitments, getting swept off your feet, love, marriage, like whatever the next step is, the upgrade for you from where you are. It's at least that, but it could be going all the way to the end, to marriage. So they're probably a good person, but again, you're going to find that out because you're going to take time to know them. You're not going to just listen to what somebody else said. Look at that. Look at that. The next card is the Four of Wands. This was the surrounding energy in the general reading, so it could have been showing up there in that position with regard to love and relationship. Also, this could be you meeting somebody maybe at some sort of large event, possibly somebody else's wedding or party or something. It can be you yourself getting engaged, getting married, or again a deepening of commitment with somebody. And mutual like respect and adoration, 50-50. As a matter of fact, this card showed up in the position of love and relationship in the general reading. And it is about like each person bringing their 50, percent or 100%, you can look at it that way, to the table. And it was in reverse in the general reading. That was saying that one person could be doing more than that than another. So make sure you're being treated equally, fairly, that you're not maybe head over heels over somebody and they're kind of like not that into you, they're not interested, or you're not, really working really hard to get the relationship together, have it progress, have it grow, and they're not working at all. Be careful with those things. This is supposed to be about, sixes in general are about love, of course, but also equality and equity. So can balance. Also to mention, this card represents the planet Venus for me. And Venus, ruler of Libra, for one thing, actually enters Libra this week. And that transit is about seeking this sort of balance in your relationships and mutual adoration and love and respect. So with the moon behind it, be careful, like think before you speak maybe in your relationships, because you could be confused. The moon is about illusion. You could be, misspoken. Maybe you listening to gossip. Don't, again, let it, move you, and don't feed into it because it could be wrong. The moon is about illusions and appearances and not necessarily having all the information. Actually, you're not really having all the information. Lobster here, again, could be tied to a Scorpio. That may be who the Knight of Cups is. But the moon, Earth's moon, rules the sign of Cancer. So like the real moon. And in the tarot, the moon represents the sign of Pisces. this could be involving Mercury in Scorpio. Actually, Mercury leaves Scorpio this week, still in retrograde, but leaves Scorpio and goes into Libra. So Mercury and Venus will be in Libra together. This could be involving a Gemini, Libra, or Aquarius, or someone likened to those traits or attributes in your life. Knight of Swords, upright, although it is this energy of swords and air, believe it or not, this is another card that's about getting swept off your feet. There can be something particularly going on in relationships between air and water. We saw that last week. And then speaking of air and water, the next card is the Queen of Swords in reverse. Again, also a Gemini, Libra, Aquarius, or someone likened to those traits or attributes. When she's in reverse like this, this might not be like your energy. This could be somebody else in your life. This could be the person that's butting in. They may be older, maybe like a mother or a mother-in-law, or that type of person. Opening now to the Seven of Wands in reverse, which is about defending yourself and your decisions. So again, if you want to give this person a chance, that's up to you. You don't let somebody else talk you out of it, or outside sources influence you. And I actually talked about outside influences yesterday. Eight of Swords, maybe some fear attached to something, or a feeling of being prohibited, inhibited, something like that. More Gemini or Mercury energy coming up with Major Arcana card 1, the Magician. In a positive sense, this is about you having the ability, the wherewithal to manifest any and everything you want in your life, but also in consideration of what I was just talking about. This could be about like some sort of narcissistic type of person. Maybe that is who is trying to cause problems in your life. They may specifically be a Gemini, having seen the Knight of Swords, the Queen of Swords in reverse, and now the Magician. And opening to Major Arcana card 7, the Chariot, which is about victory, travel, movement, moving. Could be moving to a new home, cohabitation. Most directly represents the sign of Cancer, so it could be involving one of them. And can be about stop and go in a relationship too. So you may have had like off and on relationship with somebody, and that could be who's returning to your life perhaps. And that brings us now to an overall energy of the Page of Swords in reverse. This could be representative of the gossip for one thing. We'll get further into what all the meanings are. Let me get the stands. Okay, I'm going to pull 4 cards, one for each element, beginning with fire, the first element in the zodiac, beginning with the sign of Aries. And so Aries, Leo, Sagittarius, your card is the Page of Pentacles upright. I think last week we had a lot of, I called the reading something about fire and earth and air and water. So maybe that's continuing. We'll see. Earth signs, Taurus, Virgo, Capricorn. Your card is the Fool upright, another card that showed up in the general reading about taking a leap of faith. I called that reading Take a Leap, and I said it could be about relationships. Fire signs, this card could specifically involve for you, of course, a Taurus, Virgo, or Capricorn, or someone likened to those traits or attributes. Air signs, Gemini, Libra, Aquarius. Our card is the Knight of Cups upright. Talked about the air and water. You could be having maybe specifically a water sign ex, or an ex, or again somebody from your past, or just a water sign, or just somebody really, really romantic entering your life or deepening a situation with you, a commitment with you. Last but not least, water signs, Cancer, Scorpio, Pisces. Your card is the Three of Cups upright. So there's some celebration, you're being social, maybe that's where you're meeting somebody, perhaps an air sign, Gemini, Libra, Aquarius, or you're celebrating something, engagement, marriage, birth of a baby, something awesome. Okay, so it looks like everything's in frame. Let's get back to the Page of Swords in reverse, our overall energy. So again, this may be a Gemini, Libra, or Aquarius, or someone likened to those traits or attributes actually in your life. Could also be tied potentially to Mercury or to Venus, both of which have transits this week, right? Very important transits. Again, Venus entering Libra, which she rules, along with Gemini and Taurus, and Mercury, who rules both Virgo and Gemini, moving into out of Scorpio and into Libra. So those could be why these cards are showing up. And Mercury and Venus actually both enter Libra minutes apart. I think it's on the 27th. But check out the general reading, or you can look it up, of course, anywhere you want. But I talk about it in the general reading and what it means and all that kind of stuff. All right, so this card, in addition to that, is about saying what you mean and meaning what you say, which air signs can be about in general. And so it's easy, very easy right now to have some sort of miscommunication, or again, there could be gossip, there could be just speaking against somebody negatively, talking against somebody. You have the potential maybe for negative talk against yourself. You want to be careful about that. And if you have an existing partner or somebody that you're interested in with whom you're dealing, then despite what I just said, you may need to look deep into a deeper meaning behind the words, or ask for clarification or something to make sure that you're really understanding the meaning and not jumping to some sort of conclusion about what it means. Presumptions, assumptions. Stay away from all of that this week. If you're looking for love, you may be or find yourself attracted to or being sought after by somebody who likes to talk big, and that could be tied to this too. And this as the opposite of negative talk against themselves, like a bragger, just a big talker, somebody kind of arrogant. And if you're an air sign yourself, that can be a turn off. But this kind of guides us to give the person a chance still. They may just be nervous, and so they're doing too much. They don't mean it. Well, that's not how they always are. So moving on to the Page of Pentacles. If we're going to take it straight off the tarot meaning, it can mean you're sort of over your existing relationship if you're in one. Or if you're single, you're sort of over that. You're over your condition. And that doesn't have to mean that you're going to break up with somebody if you are in a relationship or dealing with somebody in some sort of capacity. But in order to make a change, there has to be honest conversation. Again, saying what you mean what you say, being willing to listen to your partner, going for deeper meanings, asking for clarification, whatever it is you need to do. If you're trying to meet somebody and you can't seem to meet somebody new, similarly, you have to change what you're doing there maybe. And think about, am I holding something or someone in my heart or in my energy, right, in my field, in my cipher, holding on to something that's blocking me from attracting what I'm looking for. And if that's the case, then you know that rather than maybe getting into a relationship now, what you need to be working on this week is that, and clearing that away. Alternatively, this can be about somebody wanting to be generous with you this week, wanting to give you something, maybe even a gift, to share something with you. And again, they may specifically be a Taurus, Virgo, or Capricorn, or someone likened to those traits or attributes, possibly younger than you. Moving on to the Fool. This is another card that can say maybe you're not in the mood for a commitment, or you're over a commitment, similar to this Page of Pentacles. Again, this represents your energy, so you could definitely be feeling this. But more positively, maybe, I don't want to say more positively, because there's nothing wrong with, just wanting to have fun and not necessarily enter a commitment. And that can be what it is you want to do. And this is a good time for that. There's a lot of opportunity for you to just meet people and have a good time. And again, spend time getting to know people or someone specific, like the Page of Wands in reverse suggests, with which we started. Other people may be pressed for you to meet somebody though, or to enter a commitment with somebody, pushing you. So sort of the opposite of what I was saying about people trying to talk you out of a relationship with the Page of Wands. Another meaning maybe with the Page of Wands in reverse is that somebody's trying to push you into a relationship. Oh, you're not getting any younger, or, how long you been single? Why don't you go and meet somebody? Or, why don't you like so-and-so? They're so interested in you. You could be having a great relationship. We've all heard stuff like that, at least around us with our friends and family members, if it hasn't happened to us directly. So you know what I mean? It's sort of like that. The clock is ticking. When you're going to have a baby, like these things have they do have expiration dates. I mean, there does come a time when you can't do certain things anymore. The time runs out, or biologically, but we don't all, grow or make decisions, or you reach milestones and things in our lives at the same time, and we don't all have the same interest in milestones. Not everybody even wants to have kids. Not everybody even wants to be in a relationship or get married or do these things. So it's that sort of like pressure to do that when you're not necessarily interested. You just want to have a good time, and this is a good time to have a good time. But again, alternatively to that, if you are looking for a new relationship, this is saying that this is a really good time for it to come your way now. And it could be like when you're wrapped up having fun. So you may be one of those neutral people where, like if it comes, it comes. If it doesn't, it doesn't. I'm good either way. You might be the one that, gets swept off your feet this week, because this can be another one of those cards too. It can be a card of true love, but at the same time, it's one that says like true love isn't necessarily always instant, right? Sometimes it just comes about because we got to know a person and we grew closer and closer together. And so that also goes along with the Page of Wands in reverse, with which we started. It's probably a Sagittarius for somebody too. I don't know, because this sun just jumped out at me, and it's not even that like prominent in the card, but it just made me sort of focus in on it. The last side of what I keep saying the last side of what I was just saying is, when you're having so much fun and a good time, and, it can be easy to overlook possibilities as well. And somebody or something that would be really good for you. And again, perhaps even like true love could be around. So if you make a connection, consider for real, really consider giving it a chance, a shot. So moving on to the air signs, Gemini, Libra, Aquarius. Our card is the Knight of Cups. It's one of the best cards you could get for love and relationship. Very, very positive. If you're single, this card is about getting swept off your feet. So now that's like 3 cards that we've seen like that, right? If you're already in a relationship, then as I mentioned in the beginning, it's about, deepening of commitments, and it can be about final commitments too. So like the final level of a relationship, often, things like marriage, again, just whatever the deepening of commitment is for you. Like I said, cohabitation, moving in together, or, going to visit somebody just because you're just crazy about them, you decided it. And again, it can be about people returning to your life, and then romance happening or following. So, and often specifically exes, which Mercury is known for on its own. And currently, again, at least at the beginning of the week, Mercury is located in Scorpio. So that very possibly is who the Knight of Cups is, although he can also be, a Cancer or a Pisces, or someone like into those traits or attributes that's not a water sign at all. Lastly, it can be about like receiving messages, very, very positive messages, and like deciding whether or not to act upon those messages. Like for me, the Page is really who brings messages. And in this case, it would be messages of love, of course. And then the Knight is someone who takes action. So it could be somebody acting on their desire to contact you, and that's what happened. From their end, they're taking the action. And then, well, that would put the ball in your court, and you got to decide what kind of action you want to take. And lastly, it can just be a card about you needing to be open to like exploring your feelings, air signs. We do have some, they're not like, we don't wear them on our sleeves like other signs, may do. We're not very emotional, and we can be detached, as they say, energetically, emotionally detached. So this is about you acknowledging that you have feelings and sort of getting in touch with them as well. That can be a meaning of this. And last but not least, water signs, Cancer, Scorpio, Pisces. Your card is the 3 of Cups, which is another really awesome card in love and relationship. And it can mean reunions with a lost love. So it's very interesting that these cards are sort of back to each other. signifying perhaps again, like we saw last week, water and air combinations, but also both cards also potentially about exes returning to your life. So it could be like, you guys find each other. Air sign finds water sign, or vice versa. Also, again, it can be about socializing. So you getting out, maybe you haven't been dating, you haven't been partying. This is a good week for you to do that. Or you're celebrating some sort of milestone, a happy occasion that comes into your life. And if you're single and looking, then it sort of moves away from maybe an ex to you meeting someone new, and like they just really fit the image dynamic, vision of love for you. And this is a real thing, like a true deal. So I'm gonna further clarify these with some more cards, although I do think it's quite clear what's going on here. Just move them back. I'm going to use the same ones that I did in the general, and then I'm going to do the masculine perspective on the energetic connections, whether we're single, separated, or together and committed, in the Taurus full moon reading. So for this one, again, I'll just clarify. And with these cards, which is both the Angel Tarot and the Animal Tarot, we're beginning with the Four of Swords. So the Four of Swords was the card with which I began yesterday with the Rider-Waite in the general reading. So it's interesting that this came up again. Thoroughly think things through before making a decision. Continuing to overanalyze isn't going to get you any closer to a resolution, but meditation and prayer will bring you the answers you seek. Four of Swords can be about the need for a break. Now, there's no reversals in this deck, so we have to consider both possibilities. In reverse, it would maybe potentially mean that you're over a break, you've been on a break, or you've been in separation, or you recovered from your last relationship, or from heartbreak or closed heart chakra or whatever you were dealing with, and now you're ready to get back out there in the game. Those are all possibilities. Maybe again, ready for love, or if it is applying in terms of somebody needing a break, maybe needing a break from love or a loved one or a partner, maybe possibly even a breakup. Could be leaving a whole family. A contented and rewarding family life, your emotional and material needs are met, and you have trustworthy relationships. And a Ten of Pentacles is a card of security and stability and family, again, and inheritances, so assets coming in. So again, it could be, like I said, leaving a family. Maybe somebody is getting divorced. That could even be celebratory for some people who have divorce parties and all that kind of stuff. Or maybe it's over here with the fire signs. One of them is getting divorced, or they're divorced already. I'm hearing, but they haven't sort of re-engaged. They haven't been ready prior to this to sort of really get back into the swing of things and re-engage. And they may have been dealing with somebody, but they never put much effort into it because they hadn't necessarily been over that break. It's like once when you've been married to somebody for a long time, maybe all your adult life, for example, sometimes that happens to people. They're like single for the first time ever, or they live alone for the first time ever. And it takes time. Like, not everybody can just go straight into another relationship or straight into deepening another relationship, especially if maybe there's a whole family involved, like kids and stuff. It can be hard to try to figure out what the new dynamic is going to be. So that may be what's going on there. Queen of Swords also up right here. Independent, experienced, realistic, and witty. Objective decision making. So it's about figuring out what you want to do. Clearing away all that no longer serves you. So let me get all this mess that's holding me back out of my way. And seeing the humor in a situation. Queen of Swords, Gemini, Libra, or Aquarius, or someone likened to those traits or attributes, or again, possibly Venus herself, or even Mercury himself, even though it is a feminine or female that is on the card. The next card is the Dreamer. I'm not going to really go into it because it's here in reverse, but the Dreamer for me in this deck in particular actually has always represented for me the planet Mercury. From the first time I took them out the box and I picked up this card, I said, this feels like Mercury, which may sound weird to some, but it does. I don't know how to, explain it. And again, Mercury, ruler of both Gemini and Virgo. Dreamer is actually Major Arcana card 0, the Fool. So you have the Fool here. Fool in reverse can be about your independence getting in the way of your love life or your potential love life. And I did talk about that in the general reading too. I talked about the difference between being independent, interdependent, and codependent, and the need, at least in my opinion, to be interdependent if you are somebody who has always been independent and now you're trying to intertwine your life with somebody else and make room for them. A leap of faith. Follow your dreams. That leads to unexpected opportunities. All right, so I'm going to take all of these that I just looked at and just throw them in sort of randomly. I'm throwing them in randomly, but I want you to know so far I started out with throwing one atop the 4 of Wands and one atop the 2 of Wands, which of course is the soulmate or twin flame card of the tarot. All right. Give these a little mix up. And we'll just pick them back up arbitrarily, throwing some on the top, some on the bottom, some in the middle. Doesn't matter. Some upside down, some right side up, whatever. Okay. There we go. Here's some over here. Some. Let's take some of these and put them on the bottom, and some and put them on the top. And we end up with Major Arcana card 16, Life Experience. It's actually the Tower in the traditional tarot. The Tower can have to do with an actual tower, as in a building, a structure, a home, and it doesn't have to be bad news. It could be positive. This could be connected to, again, cohabitation, moving in together, if it has to do with a home, let's say, or maybe cleaning up your home, cleaning up your energy so that you can welcome somebody in, and you can welcome in new, life experiences, new love. It can also be it's about sudden things, unexpected happening. So it could be, again, this return of somebody's ex, all of a sudden, boom, they're coming back. I didn't expect to see you ever again. That's a Tower moment, especially if it's like sort of knocking you off your feet. Somebody shows up, all of a sudden they're in your state, they live on the other side of the country or the other side of the world, and all of a sudden they've traveled, they surprised you and they're here. That kind of thing could be the Tower. Can also be about a major revelation, like an aha moment, like, oh, now I get it. Now I know what I have to do. And so that's why it's major. Let's see what's behind it, and we can try to figure out what kind of, look, boom. So what could be towering you is the fact that something you prayed for or dreamed about, really meditated on, and tried to bring into your life, you manifested, is here. This is about prayers being answered, wishes being granted, and dreams coming true. It's also about communication. So maybe we're receiving communication from somebody unexpected. Shit, I never expected you to call me again or write me or whatever. Again, show up at my door or whatever the case is. Happy times. Make positive, optimistic, long-term plans. You are on the right path. The star most directly represents the sign of Aquarius. Next card is the 5 of Pentacles. Fears surrounding money, the wisdom to accept help from others, and uncertain self-employment. 5 of Pentacles can be about like fear of lack. And in relationships, a lot of the times it comes up for me as like fear of rejection, fear of commitment, fear of abandonment, maybe something having to do again with a past relationship. But this 4 of Swords can be about recovering from that, right? Healing in love. And this is you getting back into the swing of things, being ready for it. Also, the Queen of Cups is a Scorpio, first and foremost, but of course, maybe possibly a Pisces or a Cancer or someone likened to those traits or attributes. It can just be representative of the energy of love and happiness. Relationships develop to a new level. Trust your intuition. Care for yourself and others. So any messages that you get, signs, synchronicities that may lead you to the aha moment, have you figure out what it is you need to do in your life. So now I'm going to take the cards from the top the same way I did before. I'll move these a little closer again. Okay, and so fire signs, Aries, Leo, Sagittarius, your card is Major Arcana card, the World, card number 21. A job well done, joy, contentment, and gratitude in the path toward enlightenment. So those of you who know me, and I mean in terms of my readings and stuff, you've watched enough of them, you know that the world feels like fire to me, just like the other card, the dreamer, feels like Mercury. The world feels like fire. And so that's your energy. That's your element. So this is a perfect card for you. It's also about an end of a phase. So I was talking about maybe finally getting over that relationship, finally getting over that mate, finally getting over your divorce, or whatever the situation is. Or this could be a change in living condition, living situation. You probably had an opportunity to do it long ago and you didn't. And that's okay, because guess what? Since it was part of your destiny, the universe stepped in and helped you to do it. They're easing you out of a situation and into another one. A phase, a cycle in your life has come to a complete end, never to be revisited again. It's done. At least not in that way. Can never come back again in that way. It is finished. So again, it could be a job, a living condition, a relationship, and we're moving into a fresh situation, a fresh stage in one of those things. So the universe is sort of like celebrating you because you made it through like karmic completion of whatever that situation was for you. And so you're ready for a new situation now, or you will be soon. Again, this is an easing. It's very much like the Tower for me, which is again our overall energy. But the Tower is abrupt. And the world can require patience, because sometimes once we start being eased out of a situation, then we really want to be out of a situation. Like we want to get out quick. And it's like the universe is like, no, you had your chance to get yourself out of it. Now you got to wait. Now you got to ease yourself out of it. All right. Earth signs, Taurus, Virgo, Capricorn. Your card is the Two of Pentacles. So this is also your energy. Too much going on at once. There's a need to make a decision. Consider a more playful approach. I said you might not be wanting to get into a relationship. That could be what it is you're trying to decide. Two of Pentacles is also a card of balance. It tells you like all work and no play, which is something that can happen with earth signs. Dive into your work. You're so committed and a really strong work ethic. Then sometimes you can forget about taking care of yourself and your relationships and nurturing them. So this can be about the need to do that also. And we talked about this card, the Fool, meaning that you're not necessarily ready for a commitment. And that may be what this is as well. And you trying to, figure out for yourself what it is you're going to want to do. Two of Pentacles has to do with earthly decisions a lot of the times. So things that are going on this plane. Moving on to the air signs, Gemini, Libra, Aquarius. Our card is, I pulled up. Well, I picked up two. I got to give you two. So our card is another Knight of Cups. That was the next card if I had only picked up one. And it's coming along with Major Arcana card Strength. So Strength is a wonderful card in any and every area that it shows up in your life. It represents the sign of Leo most directly, the energy of fire. Great inner strength, release harsh judgments. Instead, exercise some forgiveness and compassion. Again, Knight of Cups was our card already. Somebody's ex is coming back for sure, it seems. Possibly, again, a Cancer, Scorpio, or Pisces, or someone likened to those traits or attributes. He's emotional, romantic, enthusiastic, and contemplative. Falling in love or wedding proposals. The need to balance emotions. I talked about that too, getting in touch with our emotions, getting them together. And maybe even an invitation to a social event. So we could be guided to go out. And this, I think, is showing up to give us the strength to be willing, maybe if it's somebody returning to our life, especially to, hear them out and what they have to say, and to not, and even for meeting somebody new, don't necessarily come across as our type. And again, in consideration of that Page of Swords in reverse with which we, started in the last spread. And, maybe we don't really get them immediately. Give the person a chance, and, somebody may grow on us. That can be what the strength is about. It is an 11 or a 2, which is about partnership, also faith. And definitely can be about forgiveness. Somebody coming into your life, we have to talk about whatever went on before, why we were separated maybe, and perhaps it was because we had some sort of falling out, and so there's a need for forgiveness to get back on track. And now, last but not least, again, water signs, Cancer, Scorpio, Pisces. I picked up 2 again. And it is the 6 of Cups, which is another card that can be about people from your past returning to it. Again, exes is also a soulmate card in the tarot. And the 5 of Fire can be about competing goals, bothersome details, and conflict with others. I don't think with the 3 of Cups it's about conflict. I think that maybe you are... here's a couple possible things. You are attracted to somebody that has a few people attracted to them, or maybe they're involved with someone. That can be what the 3 of Cups is about as well. Sometimes 3s represent what I call parties of 3. It means there's like other people in the picture in some sort of capacity. Or the 5 of Wands for me is also a card that is representative of the planet Mars's energy. And it's like, by any means necessary, I am going to pursue this thing that is thing or person, place or thing that is that I am passionate about. There's nothing's going to stop me from getting this thing. And that can be how somebody is feeling about pursuing, maybe again, somebody from their past and or a soulmate. Whoa. All right, further to that, let's do some advice cards from each deck. Here we go. Just pulled them right off the top. For the masculine from the Angel Tarot, your card is a Major Arcana card, the Emperor, another card that represents the planet Mars. So this can be maybe particularly with regard, at least to the water signs, the masculine and or male water signs really going hard in pursuit. Organization and logic, structure and discipline, also leadership. Other things that the Emperor represents for me, it's can be about a married man or divorcee or widower. So that may be who the other, like the other energy in the party of 3 represents. If it's applying over here, for example, or it can be applying to these over here. I'm not ready to get involved because I, got other things going on in my life. I'm a dad, or I used to be married. I'm getting back to being single. I want to be single for a while or whatever the deal is. Or again, it can be connected here, particularly maybe for the sign of Aries, because this card represents your sign, your energy, most directly, again, and your ruler, Mars. So this can be about you, again, possibly like a father or father figure, a married man, a widower, a divorcee, could be an older man, stable, sort of bossy or boss type, very set in their ways and maybe ready to step up and take some sort of leadership role or take back control of their life and how they're going to live it. For the feminine, our card from the Angel Tarot is the 7 of Cups, a complex decision, the need to do more research, stop procrastinating. This can also be about having several options, choices. Like I said, was a possibility with the 5 of Wands. So that could be a possibility, or we may need to think on something and figure out what it is we need to do, as we've also discussed a couple times during this reading. Narrow it down. Maybe we have, again, several ideas, dreams, goals, and we just got to focus on something and make a decision, because we've been like sort of keeping ourselves in limbo, and like the universe is saying it's time to move. From the Animal Tarot to the masculine, it's another world. And again, I would say, because this showed up, maybe again, particularly for an Aries male and or masculine energy, some sort of phase is coming to an end in your life, and you are meant to move into the next phase. But this is for all the masculine in general. Again, feel it's a fire. It represents an energy of fire for me, although I don't attribute it to any one fire sign or another. So, just that fire energy. It's probably more karmic for me, as in it feels like Jupiter or it feels like Mars, right? The red planet. Congratulations on successfully accomplishing what it is you set out to do. You've made it through the challenges and incorporated the lessons that life offered you with grace and courage. So if this is somebody that's just maybe as of this week setting out to accomplish what life had them do, this is them taking that leadership role, taking back control of their life, moving toward ending a karmic, moving toward karmic completion. And last but not least, for the feminine, our card is the Two of Swords. Well, makes sense with the Seven of Cups. Again, Seven of Cups is about a decision we have to make. So is the Two of Swords. It's more so for me about represents an energy of indecision, and says that you actually know what you want to do, you know what you want to choose, but for whatever reason you're concerned about doing it. So again, maybe somebody's in your ear, maybe somebody has fed you with gossip and said don't do this or do this, and you're worried about what society thinks or what these other people think or whatever. Procrastination and worrying about what others will think is blocking you from making a decision. If you're torn between your own desires and someone else's, follow your inner guidance. There you go. Hope you guys have enjoyed this week's love reading. I thank you for coming. Please do like, share, subscribe, comment. And if you do decide to, you're not a subscriber yet and you do decide to subscribe, first and foremost, I appreciate it. But please do hit both the subscribe button and the bell button so that you can hopefully receive your notifications. I didn't mention this week on this video, but I have a lot of weird things that go on my channel. One of which is that my subscribers often don't receive their notifications and that they just drop off. So make sure you hit both buttons and that you're in here. All right. Thanks. Namaste.